Hello, my name's Stephen. I'm one of the directors here at Love Realty, and I'm sitting here today with Carly Mitchell, one of our senior property managers and a leader within our environment. And I just wanted to say, first of all, Carly, thank you for taking the time to come in today.
You're welcome, Steve.
Especially when you've got a very, very busy schedule. Secondly, the topic that Carly's going to be covering off on is showing you how to present yourself and your application when looking for a rental property. Because people get frustrated, they don't know where to start, they don't know how to present their application. So the very first question is, Carly, what are typically agents looking for?
Yeah, well, Steve, obviously we have many people call up every day that have been disappointed for not being successful for a property. There are often many reasons. In this current market, we are finding that there's a lot less properties available, so there's obviously a lot more people looking. So you really need to stand out to be able to obviously be successful for a property at the moment. It all starts at the actual open homes. So very important to, when you're obviously attending the open home, to number one, to come and look the part. So make sure that you're presenting well, that you're well mannered, and obviously taking the time to make sure that you're dressed well, you've put on your deodorant for the day, and you're coming in, with a nice positive attitude about what you're looking at. Number two, be prepared. So obviously, if it's a property that you are very keen on applying for, make sure you have everything ready to go. So we do find a lot of people will take the extra effort in presenting it in a lovely folder, having all of the information ready to go. So application completed, all of the additional information, so 100 points of ID, proof of income, all ready to go for the agent.
And I guess they're important things. They might sound very, very simple, but what they need to understand is that when property managers, this isn't Love Realty specific, it's to help you stand out with every agency. And when these people are standing in an open home, if you could choose between, because unfortunately we do make an assessment within 3 seconds based on what we see, then that's either validated in how someone responds, or we're surprised when someone responds. So really make sure I've got that presentation right, because that property manager is also probably making an assessment on that relationship that they're going to have and how that's going to look for the next couple of years. And they want to know that they're going to have someone nice to work with. The second thing that you've said is make sure I present all my documentation. Carly, you know what it feels like? It almost feels like I need to present myself like I would for a job interview.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming completely prepared, we know obviously already by looking at you that number one, you're presenting well. So there's a likelihood that you're going to look after the home as you do how you present yourself. And number two, obviously being organised, it obviously gives us that impression as well, that you're going to take care of the home. You're going to be, going to understand what it's like to pay your rent on time, all of those things. So yes, we do make assumptions in this industry.
Well, we all do, don't we?
Absolutely. But obviously after that open home, we have a conversation straight away with the owner. So they want some feedback as well about what people will like at the inspection. So that's all things that we're talking to the owner about straight after the actual open home. So ultimately they make the decision. So we're giving them feedback straight away after that open home. So it's very important that you're setting yourself up right straight away. So the owners make the decision in favour of yourself.
Of you actually getting it.
Exactly.
What about some simple tips? Would it make sense for me to provide photographic evidence of how I'm looking after my existing home where I currently am? Would that help you?
Yeah, absolutely. Any additional information is definitely going to put your application again in higher ranks. So
Are there any little tips? So we've got the photographic evidence of where I'm currently living. That would put me ahead of everyone else. What else would help me?
Definitely, if you have any pets at the property, we always sort of ask that people put in a bit of a pet reference. So people will put in photos, tell us a bit about your pet.
Something from the vet?
Absolutely.
Something from the neighbours?
Absolutely. obviously owners are already a little bit apprehensive about pets in their homes. So putting that additional information in about your pet, you know, we can send it straight through to the owner so they've got a bit of an idea about what your pet's like, and it gives also that bit of an emotional connection from the owner to the pet.
Okay. And if I've done all of that, should I chase my application? Would I put my application in and then chase it? What would I do to show my intent?
Yes, so we also ask some people to put in a cover letter as well. That can also help.
Wow.
But with the actual chasing side of it, we ask that you give us around 48 hours to 48 hours in terms of business hours to do all of our checks that we do from our end. If after that 48 hours you still haven't heard from us, yes, please give us a call. We can certainly give you an update as to where your application's at.
Carly, I love the idea of the cover letter.
Yeah, absolutely.
By putting that cover letter in place, what's the type of things that you would suggest that I would put into my cover letter?
So just a bit of an overview as to what you're like as whether it's just a person or a family. So a bit of information about, you know, what you do for work. You can put in a bit of information as to your rental history, where you've lived.
Why I like the property.
Why you like the property, specifically why you're wanting to live in that area. Just a bit of information that, again, it gets us a bit more emotionally connected to you as a person, not just an application coming in to the office.
Carly, this is really, really good advice. I'm actually learning a lot as I'm sitting here as well, hence why you're an expert in your field. How many applicants would have taken all that advice and presented their application and themselves in that manner?
So
10%?
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of people will actually
Go to that
trouble. So when they do, they really do stand out amongst the crowd.
So I love this because for me, if I heard this and I was concerned, I'd go and create a checklist around all of this, and then I would go and do it. And then hearing that if there's 30 applicants, you're lucky to have 3 go to that trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that if I go to that trouble, that I'm truly going to stand out. And if I miss out on that property, when someone presents like that, what happens? Are they forgotten about, or what would they expect from there?
So anyone that sort of does go to that effort, if for some reason they are unsuccessful for the property, sometimes it may be because the owner's not accepting pets or whatever it may be, we'll actually keep their application on file and help them find their home, like an ideal home for them. You know, for a period of time. We can't do that for everyone because we have, you know, a huge amount of applications coming into the office. But if we can see that you're making the extra effort, we'll also make the extra effort for you.
Wow. And, you know, again, if I'm doing that with every agent that I'm putting an application in, the level of advice that you've just given these, you know, people out there that are concerned about finding a home, you've just increased their chances of finding a property tenfold.
Absolutely. Well, it's worked twice for me. I've lived in 2 rental properties in my life, and I've, you know, used my own advice. I've gone to the, you know, the open home, presenting really well, had my application all ready to go in a folder, submitted it to the agent, and for both properties I've been successful. So, you know, the 2 rentals that I've lived in my life. So it's worked for me before. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Carly, once again, thank you. Some really good information. And for everyone out there looking for a rental property, we hope this helps you.